So I know this thought in this verse is a little bit of a negative start for the week, and I apologize for that, and welcome this morning. The verse is Galatians 2:4, and Paul here is saying, and that because of the false brethren unawares brought in, who came in privily to spy out our liberty, which we have in Christ Jesus, that they might bring us into bondage. And so here he's talking about the Christian freedom being taken away from a Christian. And of course, that situation is not our situation today, the one that he found himself in. It's not something, it's not the only situation that we can find ourselves in as far as this goes. But the warning stands, and it's that there may be people who are brought in to bring us into bondage. And that's an interesting thought, because Paul is here saying, and he's not paranoid, but he is saying it's kind of a premeditated thing by the enemy of our souls, by Satan, bringing people into the fellowship of the saints so as to take away our liberty. So Galatians 5:1, of course, says, stand therefore fast in the liberty to which Christ has delivered us, and do not let yourself be bound by a yoke of bondage again. And so this is, you as a believer, if you're in Christ, you have a freedom, an amazing freedom, actually. You have freedom to a lot of things that, well, maybe it's worth describing them, but I just want to, just stop with that this morning. You have an amazing freedom, and the enemy has a plan to hinder you in that freedom, because you are representing something beautiful. You're representing God, the God of the universe here, the God who loves humanity. And in your freedom, you can best express Him, and like no one else, because you have your own gifts, you have your own blessings from God, you have your own leading, and you can express Him like no one else, and you're so important in that plan. And so the enemy would love to hinder you from expressing that. So in Paul's days, those were the Judaizers, and maybe we can talk about them a little more one of the next days, but next mornings, if you're still back. But the point is, they looked like Christians. They even probably talked like Christians, yet they represented another kingdom, Paul is saying. This is a warning that there are people, don't be suspicious of everyone in the church. But we need to learn the shepherd's voice, and we need to learn how to follow Jesus's voice, and then when we hear someone speaking differently, it's like no, that's just not right. That's harsh. That's without mercy. That's without truth. That's without holiness. That's without grace. That's without the Spirit. Whatever it is, we need to be able to say, no, that's not my way. That's, we're not going down that road. I'm not interested in that, because I believe it would take away my liberty somehow. And in a way, this can be scary, but it's also true that there may be, as things that we consider Christian truths that maybe are, brought in from the enemy to stop us from our liberty, to hold us back from our liberty. Ideas, rules, liberties. I know this is scary, because do I have to then, is everything suspect then? That's not the point. The point is that we need to be aware that the enemy is working against us, against you, that you would actually walk in that freedom, because your liberty in Christ is way too important for you to be entrapped somehow by the enemy. And I'm just going to leave you with that for today, and I encourage you to meditate on that Galatians 5:1 verse, because that's like a life verse. That's so amazing. And God bless your day.